Show Me Where is a communication aid which was developed at the Holly Special School in Cardiff. It was developed originally for children with autism, but has in fact been found to be very useful for any child with communication problems, even just alleviating anxiety in a child who's not well. It has 3 uses. The first use is to teach children their body parts, which is very useful in, it fits within the PSE curriculum at school, and will teach children body parts in a non-threatening way. The next use is to teach children to show the part of their body where they're suffering pain or discomfort. And the third is for enabling you to medically examine children who have communication problems, particularly autism, which research has shown it's extremely difficult to medically examine some children with autism. An example of how we would use this communication chart to examine a child would be, say, to either examine a child's ear or just to take a temperature in the child's ear. So to do that, we take the symbol for the child's ear and take them up to the chart or book or iPad for the app and show them their ear. And then I often put it up to my own ear so they can look, and then to their ear. And then they hold this symbol, or they hold the iPad and look at the symbol of the ear, and you examine their ear. It alleviates their anxiety by giving them the opportunity to know what's going to happen to them before it happens, which is very important with these children.
Ben has had very, very limited speech, could only start verbalising 1 or 2 words a couple of years ago. He's 10 now, so from a very early age we weren't able to communicate any pain or discomfort. As he's got a little bit older, he's able to say throat or open his mouth and point into his mouth, but it's better with him visualising on the chart. He can point everywhere on the body and tell me where it hurts. Ben relies heavily on visual aids, not always able to point or exactly where he's hurting, but being able to see the body, even if he doesn't put the parts on, he's able to point with his finger, and he's much less agitated when he can see the body. He's a bit of a technology. Yeah. He's obsessed with it, yeah, with his DS, with his computer, and with his iPad. Yeah. Ben will spend 12 hours a day on a computer if it was allowed. Right. So when we go out, if we're going to a place that's unfamiliar, we take the iPad with us. He's not on it all the time, but if things become very difficult for him, that's what calms him down.
When I first started using the communication aid, the main part really for me was the pain factor that Olivia was suffering with. Probably about 4 years ago now, Olivia was having a lot of pain. She's unable to speak, and the only part of Olivia's communication was to actually spasm and shout out in pain. Now the app's been introduced on the iPad, I find that Livy she's used to using the iPad, so she will sort of, the minute we get the iPad out, her arms will start going, so that she's sort of looking to interact with it straight away. And she will do that whether she's in pain or not in pain. Olivia was in bed spasming, and we were a bit unsure because at the time she'd just come out of hospital with an ear infection, so we were a little unsure of whether it was her ear or whether it was her tummy, because she suffers quite regular with tummy problems. So the girls got the iPad out. I got Olivia out of the bed and onto my lap just to relax her down first, because you need to get Olivia sort of relaxed before you can, obviously get her to start communicating and work with her. The minute we got the iPad out, she started moving her arms, thought she was going to play, and then I, showed her the show me where. Olivia cannot really look at all the body parts, so it's literally say, let's choose 2, and then we start from there. I dragged the one over, which was the hip, because she's had, an osteotomy as well. So it's worth, the body parts that she's most familiar with is quite a good tool to use. Yeah. So I dragged the hip over and there was no response. I left her there for a little while and I said, are you telling me it's the hip? And when Olivia is saying no, she screws her face up. Yeah. I then brought the tummy over and she vocalised and brought her arm over and smiled. So at that point, I knew then that, Olivia is saying it's her tummy.